The circumference of a circle is around the outside. So it's a kind of a fancy word for the perimeter of a circle. And then we also have a sector, which is kind of like a slice of pie of a circle. So we can use approximations of pi, these two here, or we could use the pi button on our calculator to get an exact answer. So the circumference is 2 times pi times the radius, or pi times the diameter. And if you think about it, the diameter is 2 radii. So they're both saying the same thing. It just depends on what information you've got. A sector is a portion of a circle enclosed by 2 radii and an arc. So here, radius, arc, well, is a sector. So a half circle has a name. A half circle is a semi, meaning half circle. A quarter circle is called a quadrant, quad quarter. So it looks fancy, but the perimeter of a sector is given by those 2 radii, so r plus r, or 2 r's, added to this, theta being whatever the given angle is, out of 360. And if you think about it, what would that be, about 50? 50 out of 360 is just going to give us a fraction we can work with. That's how much of the circle's perimeter we're going to get from that. Times our old buddy, the circumference. And remember the order of operations, that we got to do this before we can add on those other 2 puppies, which are the radii. The symbol for pi can be used to write the answer exactly. So pi goes on forever. It's irrational, kind of like some of your teachers, me. Just kidding. And this is the exact answer. If you were to try and write 6 times pi and get all the numbers, you would never reach the end of it. So this is actually the most exact answer you can give. Find the circumference of this circle correct to 2 decimal places. So circumference, in this case I have a radius, so I'm going to use 2 pi r. 2 times pi, and in this case I'm going to use a calculator for the value of pi because it tells me to, and I'm going to put my radius in there. So my circumference is, it comes out to, when I use a calculator, 87.964 yada yada yada, but I know I'm only supposed to go to 2 decimal places. So because this 4, just to remind you about your rounding rules, because that 4 is less than 5, then I quote unquote round down and leave that as 96. I don't actually take it back to 95, I leave it as 96. So now I'm going to find the perimeter of the sector. Again, correct to 2 decimal places. So I'm going to use my circumference equals 2 radii. So I'm going to I'll jot that in first. 2 times 3.5. So that takes care of this and this, times, so I'm going to get this, but I'm only going to get that part of the circle. So remember our equation, our formula for this was theta over 360. Well, I've got 130 over 360. Beg your pardon, I'm adding that, silly. But I'm then multiplying that by 2 pi r. So here I've got 7 plus 130. I'm just going to use my calculator and put 130 ABC 360 times 2 times, I'm presuming we're going to use the pi button, times 3.5. And that gets us 7.941. So correct to 2 decimal places. I can round now. I'm going to take that puppy off because he's less than 5, to 14.94 meters is our circumference. Give the exact circumference of this circle. So I've got my circumference, I've got a radius again, equals 2 times pi times r. So I've got 2 times pi, and my radius is 2. So to give the exact answer, I can do it in any order, remember. So 2 times pi is 4 pi. That is the circumference. That is the answer. That's all there is to it. Now I'm going to give the exact perimeter of this sector. So remember our perimeter, I'll call it perimeter, is 2 radii. So add this and this together. Plus, now I don't have I don't have a theta angle here, but I can see this is one of those special examples. That's a semicircle. So how much of that is there? 1/2 of a circle times 2 times pi times the radius. So 2 times 2 plus, I'm going to write this a different way, 2 times pi times the radius divided by 2. And now I've got 4 plus, and I'm giving this as an exact perimeter, I can cancel those out, 2 pi. And I think that's as far as I can get.